Hey everyone, I am Mike of Micah Test Play, and welcome back to Pokemon Colosseum. Last time, we started the post-game, and now have to go through the Pyrite building again. But, as I said last time, we're not going to be showing these battles, sort of. They'll be playing in the background. But we're going to rate the 6 Shadow Pokemon that were snagged during, the Realgam Colosseum. So, without further ado, let's jump right into Miltank. Miltank is a pure normal type Pokemon. And the ratings for post-game are also going to be a little bit different. So, these Pokemon can't really be used in the main story, but they're still useful in the post-game and can be useful for other things. So we're going to rate them with slightly different, maybe, categories. It's not just going to be offense, defense, or snagging. It's going to be a lot of factors. Miltank is a great way to start that off. Miltank is a famous Pokemon for a reason because of, well, Whitney. But as a standalone, is still actually a really good Pokemon. Offense and defense are both 9 out of 10s for Miltank because Miltank is just a solid Pokemon. Normal is a better typing than people give it credit for, and so Miltank has great stats on offense and defense, and the move pool to take advantage of either an offensive or defensive strategy. So, snagging is not its thing, it gets a 1 out of 10 there, but overall, Miltank's main role is as a tank. Just capable of offense or defense and doing kind of whatever it is your team needs it to do. It's really versatile in that way. The best moveset for Miltank as a tank is, well, Body Slam, Milk Drink, and then a variety. You can go with Shadow Ball, Brick Break, or Earthquake if you don't have an Earthquake already. And then you can either go with Heal Bell to kind of boost that defensive credit a bit, or you can give it, Pin Power. You just want that. You could also give it one of the other, offensive moves if you haven't used it there. But, you've got options there. Miltank is great for that. Normal types in general are great for just having options. As far as a sync rating, 9 out of 10. There's not a lot of teams that can't take advantage of a solid normal type just kind of doing good things across the board. Versatility is great. Miltank can work with pretty much anything. You can give it Protect if you want to, give it that Earthquake survivability. You can also, it comes with Defense Curl Rollout if you want. But, Milk Drink is a self-healing move. That's always useful. So, it kind of fits onto most teams. So, 9 out of 10. Just makes it useful. Their team is leveling up in the background. But the next Pokemon up is going to be Absol. Absol is a pure dark type Pokemon. And kind of is given the tools to succeed. Absol is a weird one because Absol is a physical attacker who was introduced one generation before its typing became a physical move. So it's always kind of suffered for that because its special attack isn't anything very special. And, pun kind of unintended there, but, a lot of its moves are also special attacks. So it's kind of, iffy there. But anyway, on offense, even with that caveat, Absol still reaches a 9 out of 10. Its physical attack strength is absurd. It's got decent enough speed that it can outspeed a lot of things in the game, especially at even levels. It gets Swords Dance. So its offense is still great, even though its defense is a 5 out of 10 because it's not terrible. People think of Absol as just being, a glass cannon. It's not quite that bad. And Dark is a solid defensive type. It's just not what you'd want it to be on defense. So it's got potential, but I wouldn't really take it that far. It also comes with Perish Song as, a move. So, you know, that can be helpful for a stall team overall, which kind of helps its defensive stat there. Wouldn't recommend it, but, you know. Snagging is a 1 out of 10. Just, Absol gets KOs, it does not slightly weaken things. If you want to stick with, like, Feint Attack, it can potentially deal some damage there, but don't. It's just not worth it. The role for Absol is just as a sweeper. The best moveset kind of works with that. Swords Dance and Slash, both of which it comes with naturally, and then teach it Shadow Ball as the, instead of Dark type, Ghost type coverage works great. And then either Hidden Power, if you get a good physical attacking Hidden Power, that's great, or Protect, just to, you know, give it some survivability. And then, whoops. I'm doing too much at once here. I have clearly hit my limit. But yeah, so that's its best moveset. Sync rating isn't as high for Absol. I love Absol, to be clear. I am biased towards Absol, but a sweeper at this stage of the game doesn't fit on all that many teams, especially a setup one. It's 5 out of 10 because it still can fit on, I guess, half the teams. But, you know, most of the time you don't need a setup sweeper at this point, but if you do, and if your team can take advantage of that, absolutely use Absol. It's a lot more fun than you'd think, despite not having a stat move. So, you know, take advantage. And now the next Pokemon up is going to be Houndoom. Houndoom is a Dark and Fire type Pokemon who is available in the post-game, and this is Gen 3, where Houndoom had still yet to be available before post-game, realistically. So, it's a good chance to use it. Houndoom, though? Houndoom's got some stuff to it. Houndoom is, I mean, I'm going to say the rule first. Sun Sweeper. Houndoom is built to take advantage of the sunshine, and it does so very well. On offense, Houndoom gets a 10 out of 10. There is not really a flaw with Houndoom's offense. Terrific offensive stats, from special attack to speed. Houndoom just dominates there. Dark Fire is not the best offensive typing, but Fire is a really good offensive typing. One of the best, actually. And, you know, kind of built to take advantage of that. Dark is just a nice complement to it. And the fact that you can, I don't know, have Solar Beam, helps there. I say Sun Sweeper because that is the role is meant to play. Defense is not Houndoom's strong suit. I give it a 4 out of 10 because it actually has solid special defense, but the physical defense is just like a wet paper bag. Houndoom is not going to stand up to physical moves very well. So, you know, also not a decent but not terrific defensive typing. Fire is an offensive type, so it's not great on defense. Snagging, also just not what it does. 1 out of 10. Just Houndoom is there to get KOs, not to set up snags. So, you know, that's what we're going for here. The best moveset for a Sun Sweeping Houndoom is Flamethrower, either Feint Attack or Crunch. Crunch if you want the extra power, Feint Attack if, you know, you want to never miss. And then Sunny Day and Solar Beam. There's no reason not to just give it those moves. Solar Beam unlocks the full offensive potential of Houndoom. You can also go with like a physical attack if you want. I don't recommend it because you're not fully taking advantage of the sun in that situation. But, you know, you can. Sync rating, 6 out of 10. It's a little bit better than Absol because it doesn't fully rely on the sun. You don't have to set up to do some damage with it. Flamethrower off of Houndoom's special attack is going to do a lot of damage regardless. And, you know, Dark-type moves, good. You know, so Houndoom can just hammer away without a setup. It's just better if you do. And, of course, any Sun team definitely benefits from a Sun Sweeper. So, you know, got a little boost there as well. So sync rating, 6 out of 10. And, you know, just a solid Pokemon all around. Next up, fourth up, is going to be Tropius. Tropius is a grass flying type Pokemon, and is kind of a weird one to put here. Unlike the first three, who are either phenomenal Pokemon of their own accord, or, you know, just super helpful. You know, they can fit into teams and stuff. Tropius is a little bit not that. Tropius is a good Pokemon, but kind of a weird one to put for an Elite Four-ish member. Its role is Sun support, because it is clearly made to be a Sunny Day abuser, and yet it doesn't come with Sunny Day, which is kind of weird. On offense, I give it a 4 out of 10. It is not built to be an offensive Pokemon. Grass Flying is a weird typing that shouldn't be defensive, and yet is. And so Tropius kind of lands in a weird spot there. Offense, I can't give it a very low score because Solar Beam in the sun still hurts, but it's just not the best role for it. Defense is very solid, 8 out of 10. You'd think with a non-defensive typing that would be a weakness, but it's really not. Tropius kind of shines in supporting a team on the defensive side. Just survivability in the sunshine is tremendous for Tropius. So that's what leads to the sun support role, kind of. Snagging is bad. It's 2 out of 10. It's, again, none of the Pokemon here are good for snagging. They're, you know, the kind of the last big shadows you snag in the game. They're not meant to be. So, you know, don't rely on that. As we're in the background, already in Pyrite Cave. Just breezing through, by the way. As we're going to try to avoid all of the non-necessary trainers here. But Tropius, getting back to it, has a 2 out of 10 for snagging because it can be helpful. That lower offensive capability does lend to, you know, better snagging. The best moveset, though, Sunny Day needs to be given to it, and then you can go with Solar Beam, Synthesis, and Safeguard, just to kind of max out its defenses. It has Fly. You can use the move deleter to get rid of the Fly. I would. You know, just set up Safeguard to protect the rest of your team. Synthesis, Sunny Day, Solar Beam is just an excellent defensive, offensive, all-in-one kind of moveset. And you can take advantage of that. The sync rating is only a 4 out of 10. It's just not the best Pokemon to fit on a lot of teams. You kind of need it to be on a Sun team. But it's still a solid defensive Pokemon. If you don't go with the Sun support moveset, kind of, it's still got some options. You know, you can still run Magical Leaf and Fly and just have it be and Synthesis and just have it be a defensive Pokemon. It's just not going to fit onto a whole lot of teams. So, you know, 4 out of 10. Now, however, we go to the big guns. Metagross. Metagross is a Steel and Psychic type Pokemon, and is the game's first of 2 Pseudo-Legends. Now, Pseudo-Legends are not quite legendary Pokemon, but they've been given that term by the fan community because they're basically legendary Pokemon. They have the stats to match up to Legends. They usually don't occur until super late game, and that is the case here. Okay, Metagross's little profile here was very fun for me to make, as you might be able to tell by looking at it. Offense, 10 out of 10. No doubt anywhere that it was a 10 out of 10 on offense. Metagross has a phenomenal offensive spread. Its speed isn't all that great, but it doesn't matter, because it has tremendous physical attack and also really good special attack. Not great, but really good. And enough to just, like, use Psychic. It's pretty much all you need for it. It also comes with Clear Body, so, like, its stats can't be lowered, which is really nice. And defense, also 10 out of 10. Great defensive typing, only 2 weaknesses? Yeah, 2 weaknesses. And just, you know, great defensive stats to go along with those almost no weaknesses. Metagross is just a ridiculously strong Pokemon. Snagging is its weak point. It's 1 out of 10. But for the role on its team, it's Pseudo-Legend. It's just gonna dominate everything left in the game. There's no real thing that it will struggle against. If you have a spot open on your team, use a Metagross. I mean, there's, for its moveset is Meteor Mash. You definitely want Meteor Mash because that's its signature move. Great offensive move. You want Psychic, it comes with it. And then whatever, your pick. That's what I have listed. I'm sticking with it. It has a lot of different options. Sandstorm, not Sandstorms. I'm looking at the moveset. Shadow Ball, Brick Break, Sludge Bomb, Return, Earthquake, Protect, Hyper Beam, Hidden Power, Light Screen or Reflect. Like, there's no limit to what a Metagross can pull off realistically. And so just kind of go with that. Just whatever you want. The sync rating is oddly only a 9 out of 10 because if you're relying on Earthquake, that's not his jam. If he's the Earthquaker, that's great. But if he's not, don't. But, it's a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Metagross is phenomenal. Just do whatever you want with it. The other pseudo-legend, however, is Tyranitar. Tyranitar is interesting. So Tyranitar to this point had only been available by catching a Pokemon in the final area of the game in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, which had to be caught at a very low level. So it was basically unavailable outside of competitive battling and things like that. Tyranitar is fascinating. On offense, it gets a 10 out of 10. Easily a 10 out of 10. No question about it. Because it has options everywhere. Tyranitar in the competitive scene had so many different offensive move pool potentials that, they had different names for what you were trying to do with it. There's no limit to what Tyranitar can do offensively. It does damage to most Pokemon by accident by being on the field because of Sandstream. It's just gonna crush everything offensively. It comes with Crunch, Thunder, Rock Slide, and Blizzard, which is just nuts. Two of those moves aren't even good on it, and yet they're still good on it because it's so good. Tyranitar is just super duper duper strong. Defense, it's only a 9 out of 10 because Rock Dark is not a great defensive type because it's got a ×4 weakness to fighting in there. Basically, any fighting move is going to do a tremendous amount of damage to Tyranitar. So, I don't recommend it. It's not bad because it still has tremendous defensive stats. It's still got good defensive matchups against a lot of things. But if it's your only defender, I guess it has a weakness. The interesting thing about Tyranitar here is its snag rating. -1 out of 10. It's the only option. Tyranitar actively hurts any non-rock, ground, or steel-type Pokemon, unless they have Sandbell, on the field. I'm looking at the remaining shadows. There's 6 of them. 1 is not weak to Sandstorm. That means that it is actively hurting your Snags just by being on the field, just by having appeared on the field, because Sandstream never runs out. So it's a negative snag rating, which I think is fascinating. Its role is Sandstorm Powerhouse, with the best moveset being Rock Slide and then anything you're missing, because let me just real quick read this off. Moves it starts with Crunch, Thunder, Rock Slide, Blizzard. Moves it learns Earthquake at 61, Hyper Beam at 65. Moves it can learn. I'm just going to go with this, even though many of these TMs are not available. Focus Punch, Dragon Claw, Water Pulse. I'm just listing the offensive ones. Hidden Power, Ice Beam, Blizzard, Hyper Beam, Frustration, I guess. Iron Tail, Thunderbolt, Thunder, Earthquake Return, Dig, Brick Break, Shockwave, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Rock Tomb, Aerial Ace, Facade, Secret Power. I'm aware that most of those TMs are not available in this game, but Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Earthquake, Brick Break, those all are. Comes with Rock Slide, can learn Earthquake naturally, learns anything. So, best moveset is just Rock Slide is its best move because it's stab rock on a tremendous physical attacker. But, like, and hits both Pokemon, by the way. But, you know, just go with anything. Sync rating, though? 4 out of 10. Sync rating is not Tyranitar's thing. It really is not. So, that's about it. We have reached the end of Pyrite Cave, like a few minutes ago. But those are the ratings for the 6 shadows that were available, you know, throughout Realgam Colosseum. And we managed to blitz our way through the completely unchanged Pyrite Building and Pyrite Cave while we talked about it. So, thank you so much for watching. And next time, we will be doing what we came here for and seeing what's next. So, we will see you guys then.